If you're thinking about selling your house for sale by owner in the Green Bay, Appleton, or Oshkosh area, this is the episode for you. I've got a special guest with us, KK Kristen Ambos from Guaranteed Rate, and she's got some real life examples of working with for sale by owners and kind of what happened in that situation. So I'm super excited to have you today, and I'd love to hear more about what kind of happened in those scenarios.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, this topic is one that is continually coming up over and over again. Where I have buyers saying, should I buy for sale by owner and things of that nature. But where I think it's so important is to give two life examples that I just dealt with. When I was working with the buyer, the seller just didn't want to use a real estate agent to list because they thought it was going to cost them all this money. And the examples that I'll give are two different scenarios. But where one, when we got the appraisal back, the seller left $55,000 on the table. And then another one where they left almost $88,000 on the table because they were not wanting to pay a real estate agent. So when we get those appraisals back, my eyes well up because I can't believe how excited I am for my buyer. But at the same time, I'm sitting back going, what were you thinking? Not just getting an opinion from a real estate agent to see what you might be able to get out of this.
Yeah, and it can be really expensive sometimes to sell your home, but mispricing your home and potentially giving away a bunch of equity, that's what it sounds like in these situations, is where the property was clearly underpriced. Yes. And sure, or if at the very minimum, if they would have at least consulted with a great real estate agent, got a price, they could have not given some equity away. I'm not like the anti for sale by owner guy. Like I've given more introductions to my title people than a lot of realtors, and I will help any for sale by owner and answer some questions, and you know that.
Agreed.
But you're right. There's situations where $55,000, $80,000 left on the table if they could have been represented potentially in a better scenario. So the buyer's won. Your client actually was the buyer because you are one of the top loan originators in the state of Wisconsin. And so it was your buyer. So like, yay, Kristen's buyer. Yeah. They won. However, you're smart enough to know that and then the reason you're on here is that these situations are happening pretty regularly. You just had two of them recently where $55,000 in, what was it,
almost $88,000. Like obviously I'm rounding just to easy figures, but it was where, yes, I was excited that the buyers won huge. I'm with you. I don't mind helping a for sale by owner here and there. But when I see that back-to-back happening in this market within just like 4 to 6 weeks of each other, it's one of those where I got to sit back and go, why? We're not talking chump change here. This isn't a couple $100. This is a huge down payment you just left on the table. In which case my buyers win. And, we'll be able to refinance them in 6 or 8 months. No PMI. They got in with a great rate. I mean, it's a good thing, but at the same time, I just feel like it's something that should be brought to the table because as somebody who works with a lot of real estate agents, I see your value in giving those opinions, and maybe others don't, but I just felt like it was something to bring to light. Like, hey, if you would have paid a real estate agent, they would have paid you back tenfold.
Yeah. And the thing is you can't underprice a home if you let everyone see it. The problem with for sale by owners is the marketing areas where you can post these properties. You can't really get as much traffic as you probably should. Or the other problem with for sale by owners is they meet the person, they have that emotional connection, or they like that person. And part of the reason we're involved is to kind of keep people apart. But I have a situation right now in a house where we're not reviewing offers until Monday. We launched on Thursday. We're making sure that there's enough adequate time that we're not leaving any money on the table. And yes, our fee may be expensive sometimes, and I get that. I'm totally cognizant of it, but we've got 3 full-time staff. We pay half our health insurance, and then we have a different scenario than just your realtor who puts a sign in the yard. But yeah, the opportunity to make sure that you get as many dollars as possible, especially in the seller environment where it's a seller's market. So to sell your home off market where only one person or a friend saw it, right? Like those are the situations. That's how you lose $55,000 or $88,000 potentially, right?
I completely agree, 100%. And where it shows is, and I love that you brought that up because people do automatically just think, oh, a real estate agent makes 6%, they make all this money for sticking a sign in my yard. And I think it's, you brought up a really good point that there's staff involved, that there's people that 6% just doesn't go to one employee for just sticking a sign in the yard. There's so much there. And I think one of the biggest things left unsaid when you do for sale by owner is the legality of some of these purchases, and where you as an agent who are licensed come in and save that. You do what's best on behalf of your buyer and seller. It's not just about the money. There's so much more involved in it. The money is just one of those where, like I said earlier, there's so much left on the table that I felt like it was something that absolutely needed to be addressed because it's happening a lot. Because they think it's just, oh, stick a sign in my yard. But you and I both know there's so much more that goes into that,
Yeah,
and where the money is actually made and how it's really spent.
yeah, and proper representation. I never look at the money. I
Yes,
look at doing a great job for a client, just like you do. And the majority of our business is word of mouth, referrals from our past clients. And I don't think anything can judge a business better than, how much of your business is truly from your past clients or word of mouth, which I know both of us is primary. That's like the primary source of our businesses. So I really appreciate you coming in, sharing your story.
yeah,
If you're thinking about selling your home and you want an opinion on value and you still want to sell your home for sale by owner, that's totally fine. But at the very minimum, let us educate you on the process and give you some tips on what you need to do to get your home on the market, but to also make sure that you get the most money possible. KK, Kristen, I
absolutely.
appreciate you being
I
here with us
appreciate
today.
you too.
And
Thank you so
if you
much for
need,
having me.
you're welcome. And if you need mortgage help, I will have Kristen's link
Yes,
below where you can
thank you.
apply online. You're welcome.
Absolutely.